Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Weekly Forecast with Fundamental Analysis here on Eivindfx. And today's sponsor is...
This video/stream is sponsored by Trader Central. Trader Central provides funding for traders, spot cryptocurrency exchange services, and access to trading tools like copy trade software, portfolio tracking, and a social platform exclusive for communicating with trader friends. Sign up now using the link in the description and get up to 30% off on your first plan.
As I said, please use the link below if you want to get up to 30% off of your first plan. Now, the thing is here today, people, is that I didn't do anything forecast yesterday or anything of that sort. So it's kind of what we are supposed to be doing today. So I have made it public for everyone to see, but only YouTube members are able to comment. The reason for that is because we were supposed to have one privately yesterday, so I am trying to accommodate of both, that you guys are able to see something, but also able to learn. So this live will not be available for everyone afterwards, so if you have comments and questions and such stuff, then you have to ask them now, and I will be happy to answer any questions whatsoever. If you want me to go through your charts, you have Discord, and the Discord link is in the description below, as anything else in this life. And if you want to send your charts, there you go. Have fun with that. Now, or charts. Cool. So somebody asked me, I think it was yesterday, I think it was Susie who asked me yesterday, and Susie asked me yesterday, Ivan, what is fundamental analysis in Forex? And as far as I know, it is the analysis and the breakdown of political, economical, and social factors relative to the value of a currency. Now, that is definitely a whole mouthful, and that's why in my mentorship there is this situation where you can create what I have created a trade plan template here for everyone, and going through this as a fundamental bias or a fundamental analysis, you have to go through and analyze not only the economic data points that you're being given by the economic calendars, but what does it mean? What does 7% mean for inflation? What does 3.8% mean for labor market? What does sentiment below 50 mean for the business market? What is GDP? And all those things, you know? And all of these data points you need to go through, and all the global economy you then have to, you know, to refer to. So in my case, it's my answer to that question is what fundamental analysis. It is the analysis or the breakdown of economic factors and other factors that would drive a society, because a currency is just the value of a country, basically. So it's really important for you to have that straightforward, nothing else. And then you can go through, you know, and we can go deep into this. I'm not going to deep into this because we have a lot of else things to do. But if you just go into if you could just go into pips, and I think the most important thing, even though take it out of context, but what may affect the currency price? Now, that's a lot of things. Okay? That could be the taxes. That could be Biden saying something interesting or something not so interesting. That could mean that Powell, the current central bank governor of Fed in America, say something that they want to change policy. They want to start buying. They want to start selling. They want to reduce. They want to increase. They think the market's in unstable environment. What we saw last week was Bank of Japan saying they're going to buy bonds for 3 days consecutively. What happened to yen? Boom! Straight down, sorry. So what may affect the currency isn't very easy to say because it's a lot. But I will throughout this video just take notes as to what I mention, and maybe if you have questions about that, what I don't mention is probably just as important as what I mention, okay? So there's the silent one, and then there's the non-silent one. I'm not going to mention any indicators. Technical indicators does not matter in fundamental analysis. RSI doesn't matter. Trend lines doesn't matter. RSI doesn't matter. Is relative strength test or index, is that something you can use for fundamental analysis? No, that is just that's a different piece of information that you need to use. Is COT data fundamental analysis? No, that is sentimental analysis. So we're going to go through everything here, and I will try to tell you what to do and what not to do. A fundamental analysis is also the analysis of supply and demand. What is supply and demand? Supply is producers. That is producing products. That is could be oil. It could be gold. It could be nickel. It can be sunflower. It can be anything. Producer of something is the supply side. Now you have OPEC in the oil world that is trying to make them produce enough oil for them to make money, but not too much to crash the price. And right now, we said they have not been able to do anything of that. But that's kind of that. And then the next thing you also need to mention here is fundamental analysis of Forex is different from fundamental analysis of a stock. We all again have a clear on that. And then the next thing you also need to be having a very clear understanding of what you believe is going to happen is the result of your fundamental analysis or of your analysis in total. So when you tell me, Ivan, sell pound or sell S&P, right now you look like a stupid idiot that is selling anything. Come back with receipts. Come back with proof that what you're saying is true for yourself or for anyone else. Come back with reasons. And the more reasons that you can articulate to anyone else, the better you should become. The more you can do research, the more you can say, okay, I believe we're going to do this and this and this because of this. Now prove that you're right or wrong. Market will prove you. And then you take, and then you go afterwards and you say, okay, what is really happening? Now, so what was really the result? That was what I wanted to say. What was the result? What is the outcome? Now, our friend Joe Boss, that has made our lovely indicator, has made a summary of all some few key outlooks. I'm going to go through some of them. Nordea, S&P Global, Westpac, Danske, Royal Bank of Canada, and Wells Fargo and SEB. And I think that this is a very interesting key thing that I'm going to show to you, because I think that for everyone who is here, you can do this research yourself, or you can make somebody else do it, and I'm deeply appreciative of doing it. But this is an important thing to do in the weekends. So if you didn't do it in the weekends, I hope that you can do it right now. So we'll do it right now. I don't care if my views goes up or down. This is important for you people. Okay? Anyways, hello Harold. Thanks for the macro links in Discord. Wish you all a good trading week. Cool, thank you. At the March meeting, Fed hikes 25 basis points and statements signaled ongoing increases. Right now, we are seeing a 7 basis points rate hikes in 2022, 3 to 4 in 2023, and we might even be at 3% in 2023. Now this says 2.8. Today is 3. This morning is 3. The other thing is that there might be some discussions of QT. QT is opposite of what we have been doing so far. QT is quantitative tightening, which means they are going to start selling their bonds, not buying bonds anymore, selling bonds, which will take out some money in the market, because if they sell to the market bonds, the market has to buy bonds. When the market buy bonds, they have to use money, and they will of course get a better deal than anyone else, but they will get a good deal, and then they will buy anyways, and therefore money supply in the market goes down, which they tried to do differently last year, 2 years ago. So I mentioned here 3% by 2023, and also we can see here that there might be, or well, I would also argue that it's also priced in an expectation of 5 basis 2 rate hike in May and 2 in June, as far as I know. Market has further priced in 50 basis points. So when you go through these reviews here, you're seeing the same thing. 50 basis points in May. 50 basis points in May. What is really going to happen here, right? So we need to just be full steam ahead, continue reading, taking notes every time we go through them, right? And there in the end, you're going to see patterns. You're going to see back in where we're talking about 50 basis points rate hike a year ago, like in the future, and then a year from now, and you're going to see, well, we have a high interest rate now, we might go higher, and now we might be slowing it down a bit, and that will be also reflected in the reports you will be reading. So as you go through time, this is going to come back to you, bro. In 10 years, 5 years, I don't know when it's going to be next time. If there is going to be a recession in 2023, 2024, are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for a recession? Are you prepared for a booming market? Take notes when you still have a booming market and see what is important in that kind of market, what happens on the stock market, what happens in the Forex market. Take notes as you are taking notes as what do you call it? As intellectual, as systematical, as strategical as you can. This might be boring, but I can tell you one thing. If we go back to what happened in March 2020, I have notes. If we go to 2022, I have notes. Why is this important? Because I will use the same notes again when the crisis comes, when the opportunity comes. Opportunity meets planning meets opportunity equals success. I don't know if I made it up, but I think I made it up. The other thing to mention here is that if any policymakers at Fed were to be fenced about a prospect of sustained inflation, the 11.5 point jump in the prices paid component to 85.7 might be enough to push them in favor, meaning there is an indicator that has of inflation that has jumped up 11 points, meaning that if Fed raises interest rate in May by 50 basis points, the market will not be surprised. The market will not be surprised. Another thing for Euro is that they see that Euro ECB might go towards a less accommodative monetary policy, meaning focus on the inflation, focus on CPI, focus on those things that really matters, because you might see a strong Euro one day. I'm not going to say it's going to be today. I'm not going to say it's going to be in April. But I'm going to say, if it comes, You have planned for it. You have seen it coming. You see there's going to be more inflation coming in to these coming months because of whatever. And therefore, market will price in a rate hike in Europe as well at some point. Hopefully, at least. You know? If you think there's going to be not be going to be inflation, if you're going to be against the inflation move, you then have to sell euro. Easy as that. Easy as that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this next person, but Bank of Canada kicked off its rate cycle by 25 basis points increase as early as March announcement. Hence, then CPI inflation has quickened further. Elevated oil prices should be supportive of the Canadian economy, though a solid job report, 8th of April, that is this April, will be fully consistent with a further monetary tightening from Canada, and we expect another 25 basis points increase from the central bank in its April meeting. Do you think that's going to lead to CAD strength this month, do you think? Do you think so? If you look at the Canadian yen right now, how is it looking, mate? How's it looking, mate? Is it strong? Is it weak? You can make a simple rule saying if we break higher, if we break higher, let me take that away. If we break higher in CAD yen, saying because you think we're going to have more inflation this week, you have to make this one buy at support or buy a break above. Buy at support. Now, this is for you a very interesting situation, right? Why? Because you think inflation is going to go higher. You think it's going to be more rate hikes for Canada in these coming months. You think the labor market is due. More and more people are getting jobs in Canada, and therefore you think that is going to lead to more jobs. That's the simplest fundamental analysis that you can do. Interpreting the numbers that is coming out of the market more than anything else. Okay, I earlier said if you have questions, add them into Discord. I'm watching Discord. If you have questions or charts you want me to go through, let me see them as well. I'm not going to show you who it was, but I think the person starts with a letter S, and it's a guy. So you, with the letter S, as a guy, you know that you sent me a trading plan on Thursday, I think, or Friday, somewhere around there. I think it was brilliant. I will ask maybe permission to show it to you guys later on, but I think it was brilliant. Now, what was also brilliant about this person is because he had taken the time for every currency and wrote down what is good about it, what's bad about it. What is the current situation? And the current situation was very correct. He has done his analysis. He has done his due diligence when it comes to the market right now. It is way better than just buying gold for the sake of buying gold because you felt like your mother so told you to buy gold. There's nothing in that group. There's nothing in that plan that said, let's buy the living life. Let's do something ridiculous. Everything is timely. If you're going to be a professional trader, if you're going to be a successful trader, nothing is random. If everything was random, I wouldn't be here. Why would I be here talking about this nonsense? Okay? Now, just updates himself on the news. We look at Russia has done it to Ukraine. It is difficult to negotiate with them. Okay, that is. And then Saudi is raising prices for US and Europe. Okay, probably get them a good deal, I guess, at some point. Okay, now we come to the outlook. Okay, so what's the what's the outlook for yen? The outlook for yen right now is that they're not able to make inflation. They have a fantastically high debt. They just bought bonds last week. I'm seeing yen as of general throughout April going to weaken. Now that can be wrong, that can be right, whatever. I also think that we should have a pullback generally on yen pairs. Now that doesn't need to happen this week, that can happen next week. And how I would approach this is when I go through that, maybe let's see that technically or sentimental, we have seen we've seen that we have gone too far, we've gone too high. That's okay. That's why I say a pullback, right? But if you go to the COT for yen for this week, we have 21,000 contracts going off. There's almost no buyers left on oil, on Japanese yen, right? Almost no buyers left. So if you're thinking that, this is going to continue, this is a fantastic trend that is still going to continue, and you still have something left, and then the last thing you then want to look into is another seasonal another sentiment is what is retail traders doing, and they are buying yen. They are buying yen, and they are buying yen, selling the yen pairs as much as they can, which is ridiculous at the moment, by the way. So they've sold all those pairs, hoping it will fall. But let me ask you, fundamental Forex traders, that is experts out there, tell me, at least tell me in your brain if not, would you say that CAD yen is currently bearish? Can you tell me that CAD yen is currently bearish? If you believe so, I would be devastated, actually, to be honest. This is not bearish at all. It's a range, okay? It's a range. And when we cross over to euro, I'm done with yen, by the way. When we cross over to euro, what's really happening here? I just wanted to check out pound as well. Yeah, what is really happening here? And I can't really decide as to if that was going to be a sell or a buy. We made a high, and I'm like, 113 sound more better. Now we have fallen. Now that's an opportunity cost, isn't it? Because now we have lost an opportunity. And today we are falling, by the way, on the euro. And I believe it's going to be dollar bullishness for April. And we are kind of in the right terms for the past, few days now. Past few days we have been right about dollar bullishness. Now, what could be the best setup here? We have dollar bullishness. We have currently, so far, we have more interest rates to come. We have higher inflation. We have higher labor market, and that's going to be 250 basis points rate hikes in May and June. That is already kind of priced in already, so that's not really that much. And then you can see that on the other side, that the tension in Ukraine is easing. But I want to say something that the market is pricing in at the moment. What is happening with inflation in Europe when things really start to cook up with Ukraine? When wheat prices are going to go through the roof, we have still elevated oil prices. Are people still being able to continue their same spending patterns that they have so far done? And that's what the market is currently thinking now. They are not. There's going to be maybe a fear of recession. There maybe is going to be fear of something worse to come. Now, the other thing about Russia here, people, that somebody say, we're all sitting in a glass bowl anyways. But one thing about Russia that Western media or experts is saying is that This we will not listen to what Russia says, only what they do on the ground, and they're not really doing a mass withdrawal. They are just regrouping, basically. So if there's going to be more attacks in Ukraine, more longer war, more longer term, like, because right now they're supposed to be planting wheat, they're supposed to be planting sunflower, right? This is the time. Now, as this progresses and is not being done, there is going to be economic impact. And when that hits Europe, it will probably take 2 months. And we started the war 28th of February. We have had March. So maybe we'll see a sign now on April that economically Europe is not doing as great as before. Now, the other thing to mention here in this situation is if you have slower growth in Europe than expected, that is going to send the euro down. Now, that is my view. That's my view. So for all of those for all of those 53 people who's right here right now, please give it this. If you have learned anything new today, please give it a like. I don't beg you, but I think it's a good thing. If you have learned anything new today, and as to how to position yourself. Now, I can go technically. I can just say I will sell here and be done with it. But if I'm going to teach you how to become way better trader than you ever been before, you understand the world around you, and when you see a piece of information, it's going to go straight into your brain, click, and you don't even ponder, you don't even wonder what you are seeing in front of you and what the trend might be. Okay, that is the real deal here. So for euro, what is really my view here? I think it's going to go down. Now, I wanted 113. Maybe it was optimistic. I don't care. That was my plan. Now, is it a failed plan? No, not really, no. It's an triggered plan. But it's still a plan. I would still think it's successful. If you gave me that trading plan and someone actually has done that, cool, good. Boom. That's how you do it. The next thing you need to do is follow up on that plan and follow your plan. And I cannot remember who it was. I think it was it Princely? He had a trading plan of buying 110. Now, price has fallen 100 pips since that conversation. And I said, did you buy it? And he said, yes, I did buy it at 111. And I said to him, good. Follow your plan. I don't care if you're against me or with me. As long as you don't force your ideas onto others. Two, as if you can explain as to why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you can explain what you're doing, you can do it again in the future. And if you have reasonable stop loss and reasonable risk management. Now, does this look like a bad trading plan for you? I would say it's a good trading plan. I would say it's a bit high, but it was an aggressive entry. Now, 105 or 110, which we are right now, might be another place for him to look for another one. And there is no condemning for me as to that you have that trading plan. But it all needs to be followed up with a bit of knowledge, senses. So, as a seller, this has fallen, and it has fallen without me. Now, is that normal? Should we do that normally? Yeah, this is totally normal. The reason why it didn't follow how I wanted as the expert of my strategy, it didn't follow my rules. It didn't follow my price action. It didn't follow the price I wanted. Therefore, I'm not in it. Now, for this week, we can say, we can sit here and say, well, Ivan, where's the next entry then? Are we going to sell today? Are we going to buy today? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? There's no such thing, bro. There's no such thing. If I'm going to sell it, I need 111 weekly. That is an adaptive sell entry. I have adapted to the market. But 111 might be a sell price. But right now, as it stands today, there's no opportunity. There's no opportunity. Maybe a long answer, but I love my own answers. So that was Ayas asked about that one, and that cool, good. Opportunity. So, what I'm gonna do with you guys right now, I'm actually gonna open up for comments for everyone. Why? Because so you guys can also have something to do, but I will just continue in my own little bubble world. Macro mark to market, which is Mark, has mentioned that the dollar has struggled to rise on the new rise in expectations for rate hikes. Okay? So for that to be in that situation is kind of like important to note. But I would disagree. Because we have seen a bottom, which I didn't take for obvious reasons. I don't trade ranges. I thought it was going to break lower. The other part to this situation is we don't have a trend. Okay? So right now we have maybe a breakout soon. But I would rather take the breakout. I would rather take the breakout than trying to buy bottoms that I do not have profitability in. The other question is, should I have bought here? 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 I don't do that in ranges. Now, if you go to the stock market, which we have been talking about quite so much in lately, I am still waiting for the higher high and the pullback and the high for me to add. And there was a Zoom meeting yesterday. Yeah, Arvin, I did, and if that is something for you, that is not something for me. I went through them, and well, they're talking about the volumes, and they're talking stock market, so that's a different thing, though. But yeah, so it's a different way of talking and thinking. So, so I'm not stopping you from listening to them or anything like that. That's totally up to you. It's a free world. But I have no newfound interest or love for them to do it myself. So right now, I am just waiting for, a new high, a new higher low. Simple as that. Nothing more fancy than that. And then I hopefully will get an entry at some point in our lives. And it will be fantastically beautiful, a lot of profits. But right now, I think that we just need to be, in between. Something in between is 50-50 right now. It's where to go. So I'm literally just gonna be there, and I'm gonna be T. Where's the T? There's the T. Cool. And then buying above 45.60. How was the first part of this video? Was it good? You liked it? You like? Yeah, S&P, that's kind of, buying above 45.60. New higher high, higher low. That's kind of a trading plan that I have. And then I will put that into Discord. Cool. Good afternoon, Nakoko. Frankie, what's your opinion on FTMO challenge? Hi, Frankie. I haven't done it myself, but I think that you need to be very careful as to which market you're gonna buy it in. Okay, so if you see like a market is trending or it's about to trend, which you have to anticipate. If you see a market trending or about to trend or should trend a lot, that is the time, because you need a lot of pips in a short time. So I think that yes, it can be rewarding. It can be, but you need to be very confident in what you do. Not do many mistakes. Very few mistakes. Should be confident in what you do, and you should also be able to catch a trend and the market that is going in the one direction. So I think be conscious, be very conscious of when you do it, and I think it's a great opportunity. And if you want to, today's sponsor is Trader Central. If you need to be funded, if you use the link below, you can get up to 30% off of your plan. So I think it's a good idea. I'm not against it at all. I'm just saying, be very conscious of when you do it. Be professional in what you do. Take it very seriously. Have a good trading plan. Have tested it a lot before you do it. So when you do it, you can be successful. Okay? Thank you. We all can see support resistance on gold. Dash Finance, I did your USD a couple of minutes ago. I don't see any opportunity right now. Maybe selling 111. But that's only my personal opinion, only. And then, yeah. So right now for gold, we are seeing gold rising again. But we're also seeing gold generally in an overall range. So we are within the range of the range. So if you like range trading, that's kind of what you need to do. So if you see range trading, you're thinking, aha, coming up to here and then maybe settling it down. And then if it breaks higher, you stop. But right now, this is being used as support, being used as support, being used as support. And that's kind of how you have to treat gold at the moment. If it starts trending and you bought down here and it broke through, then you are being given more grace. But yeah, and I didn't see that one. I didn't call that one out, so I'm not going to say I called it out. But I definitely see that this is support and resistance that you need to be planning to be ready at. So it's around 1945 and 1918, 1920. So right now it's just to be waiting in between. Your target for the week should be around 1976 if it trends, but I would just take it up to 1950. 1940. Partial take profit at least, and then see how far we can go with it. But I wouldn't hope for much on gold. And then if your gold goes higher, then you just take it on the account of you followed your trade plan. You did a whoops, whoa, sorry. Hey, that was not really my, wow, sorry, my apologies. Sorry. So yeah, if it goes above, then you followed your plan. So my plan would be up to 1944 as TP1, and then maybe up to 1976 area if you get a breakthrough, So I think as a gold trader, you, well, should have, would have, could have, and I wasn't there to tell you that that was a good buy, by the way, sorry. And I wasn't there either to say that it's an aggressive entry. But right now, that is kind of where you are thinking, and then right now, as a buyer, you're thinking up to that, and then hopefully can continue higher, but no luck in this situation. Hey, Joe. How are you, bro? Are you okay? You're doing well? I had, who was it? It was a mentorship student of mine called Kibet. Gideon. Kibet. I'm calling out your name since you're so beautiful. You bought 5 what? 5.58, you said? 5.8. Probably here on Friday or something like that. Thursday, Friday. Currently in profit. So what would you do in Quebec's situation? You'll be seeing that this has resistance. You're like, I don't like that. But you're still sitting on your hand. You're still waiting for it to go higher. And you're still thinking of, you know, this one should go up to 6. But will it? I don't know. So right now, as you have told me, you are break even on this trade. Fantastic. How likely is RBA decision to go be a catalyst for retracement from an overbought level? Oh, yeah. Also, the thing is, we need to go through the data points then for Australia and make a decision as to what is really, how is inflation and everything. And I'm just going to do a small bite. Look at your Xavier. So if you go to trading economics right now, and we look at Australia, and we see inflation is 3.5. Not high, but it's getting there. Unemployment rate is there, and then the GDP is 3.4. So I don't know. I can't remember what the numbers was that I needed to see. They were very, very data oriented. If I go to my let's go say what does, let's think as Westpac. That's most likely going to have something interesting to say here. Yeah, okay. So, putting up these ones, private. I don't give them my password anyways, so who cares, teddy bears? File not found. Have they been hacked? I went to my email. Shouldn't that be allowed? Cannot find their file. Do I have somewhere here? Yeah, okay. I think that an increase in interest rate will short term have Aussie strength, but it hasn't been Aussie strength or interest rate strength that has been pushing Aussie higher. It has been commodities, as far as I know. Okay. Here we are. Now I'm just reading as you guys are seeing in this one, but I'm gonna take away my face because you can see it without my face, son. Cool. Inflation is now back at the target band. Unemployment rate at 4% will soon move below 4%. However, RBA say that it will not lift rates until inflation is substantially within the target band, meaning it needs more time. So that might, since if RBA says they need more time, then definitely yes, we might see a fall in Aussie, but I'm not going to forecast that. Yeah, I still got what I wanted. So yeah, I'm still cool with that. Boom. So at the end of the day, I think we are here. Fair enough. Good on us, I guess. US 30 says David. We can go to David, and he said US 30. Just gonna make sure we don't do that. Do that. And then there we are. Bullish still. Still a plan of maybe going down to 134.30. Still, down to this price here. Hope you can see that. Yes, you can see that. YouTube says, please check your video's resolution. Your current resolution is 1920 by 1080, which is not optimal. Of course it's not optimal, because I want it to be 1080. There's a Westpac section in my report if you want my summary. Yeah, I'll just do that as well. So, Mr. RBA. There we are. Danske. The Reserve Bank of Australia will meet Tuesday, but despite global inflationary pressures, we don't expect to see any change in policy. That's what I literally just said. Boom. People, boom. Isn't that great? To see someone seeing the same thing as I see. US 30. Yeah, US 30. 30. You are seeing this as support. There's your buy. There's you seeing that again. Seeing this as support. You're seeing that as your buy. Congratulations. Higher. Boom. Now, for those who says I'm delusional because somebody said that about buying the stock market, I'm standing by my words. Stand by my words. Joe, if you have anything to add, you can probably jump into the Discord and voice chat for 5 minutes, and then if you have anything you want to add to it. But yeah, I think it's deeply appreciated. Commonwealth Bank does not expect a rate hike tomorrow, says Personal Freedom. Sifu says something. I don't know if he... I don't see what you see, Harold, because I don't know if Sifu has said anything. I don't see anything. That's cool, Sifu. But okay, cool. What do you think about US oil? Okay. So that's kind of that one. And, any higher high or pullback is great. For me, USD NOK is something that I need to do another trade plan on. Damn. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I was about to say buy that, but nah. Okay. Good night though. Good night. We still have M2 left. But I don't. And wait for it to return back higher more than anything else. So That will mean something like this, and then that. That's kind of what I'm thinking then, but nothing else than that. You are our seafood, aka VPM. I don't know which seafood is, but if you call me seafood, maybe. Are you nice? Are you nice to me? Okay, I'm just gonna take off the music. You are somewhere. You're there. Okay, cool. We'll just move it on. Hello. I don't know. I'm still connecting. Oh, okay. Okay. Hi, Joe. I'm gonna see if people can hear you as well. Please say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. I just need to add your volume. That's all. Cool. Uh-huh. What's your update?
Oh, man. Let me actually go ahead and bring up that report. Because, believe it or not, ever since I've started making those things, I've started to kind of link. You know what? Can you send me the link? Because I don't have the link saved.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, wait, no, it should be...
It's just above us in the chat, though, but okay,
Yeah,
cool.
there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I also have it in, in announcements and whatnot, yeah. Yeah, so Control F, RBA. Let's see here. So there's the one from Donska.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple from Westpac.
Mm-hmm. See if that's Westpac.
Now there is on page 11. I recommend reading page 11 in its entirety, because that's from Westpac's Forex focus page.
Mm-hmm.
And this report is price targets for all the major currencies.
Mm-hmm. Do you read chat? Do you copy?
Yeah, all the stuff that's important is in bold.
Mm-hmm. So
and then on page 6 there's more forecasts.
Yeah. Just to give you a small, brief little introduction, Joe is the founder of what is it called nowadays? Trade to Profit Discord channel. He has created your win pivot points and pro, and also some seasonality table dashboard indicators that is probably going to come up soon as well. So anyways, software developer, is that we can call it nowadays, of rang.
Yeah, I think I've graduated now. I'm actually developing cool stuff.
And also a fundamental trader and a research trader more than anything else. So plan to profit. Yeah, Harold. Yeah.
Yeah, I might be rebranding it everything over to Boss Benchmarks though, because that was just a placeholder name for the community originally, and now it's kind of all centered around me now. So, it's a place where people who, follow this methodology of trading with the pivots can, preferably they hang out in your Discord, in all seriousness, because most of what goes on in my Discord is just we read papers nonstop.
Okay. High level.
It's a lot
high
more
level
reading
stuff.
and a lot more research, right? It's there's a lot more trading going on in your server.
Yeah. But by the way, just one question has been going on. Do you have what's the best website for fundamental analysis, or a place to go?
Honestly, I'd recommend reading those reports I'm doing now once a week. They should be coming out every Friday or Saturday now. But I'm still testing this. These are just abridged versions of public research that's available. I read all this research and I compile it.
Yeah.
I just I'll go through a 20-page document. I'll go through 5 or 6 of those. and I'll compile it all into one page. So if you're new to doing research, or you just want something that's quick, here you go.
Yeah.
You know, instead of reading 5 20-page reports, here's one that's 15 to 20, and it covers like 8 banks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's all the fluff removed.
Hear this, people? Fantastic. I'm deeply appreciative, bro. More than anything else.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Yeah. So for the XY, Westpac is thinking it should not go lower than 97, which should, at the same point, look at the price of DXY, which is at 98 right now. So that is the low of the range. Okay, a bit lower than that. So I think that it can maybe break out to the lower side, but it shouldn't go lower than 97. And Aussie dollar should break, maybe. So 77, 75.56, as far as I can see. Which we're currently at 75.18. So that means that Westpac thinks that Aussie should go higher. Is that how you should read it? Is that a good interpretation of how to read that report?
Pretty much, yeah. They're expecting Aussie to go higher. When it comes down to Westpac's keeping up with Westpac's opinion, they once a day release an update to all their Forex positions from their public newsletter, where you get all this information from. And you can find the links to that in the footnote right there. So, you know, it just comes right into your inbox, all this stuff. But when it comes down to actually keeping up with this, it's either you're reading these things on a weekly basis and keeping up with, okay, here's what the analysts at Westpac are actually thinking. Because when you just read one report, you know, if they just blatantly tell you, hey, we're bullish, that's great. But typically, there's kind of like an unspoken context when you start reading reports from banks, that you kind of have been reading them for a little while, that you actually understood what their positions have been from maybe like the last couple of months on various topics. So when you start reading, the major problem with reading fundamentals and reading all these outlooks is that you have to read it consistently for a few months, and you'll probably learn a lot of stuff along the way, because there's a lot to learn. Except it's just the only things that just takes time.
Yeah. Do you need an economics degree to understand them? So your
interpretation's totally right.
I butchered that one, sorry. Do you need an economics degree to understand these reports?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, especially mine, right? It's selectively curated. At the very, very top, it says that this is an abridged public market research report. So what that means is that I'm going to research that's already publicly available and free, and I'm reading through it, and I'm just taking the highlights of it. And in bold, I'm putting the most important stuff. So, you know, I do all this research for myself already. Now I just throw it into a document while I do it.
Yeah, this is what I do as well. And so the thing is, people, just remember that Westpac is one opinion, right?
Yeah.
And there is tens of millions of opinions out there if you really want to read everyone. But would you select a couple of banks to follow, and just follow them instead of reading like 10 the bank reports every week, like maybe like 4 or 5?
My number one recommendation for beginners
Mm.
is Wells Fargo.
Yeah, okay.
They are constantly releasing stuff. Now they are US focused, right? But once a month they publish what's called their international outlook.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the most it'll probably take you an hour or two to go through the entire document.
Mm.
It's like a 40-50 page report, but it is a month to month release of exactly what Wells Fargo's, you could say, idea trade plan is and expectations are for various major currencies and countries.
Mm.
And it is by far the single best place I have had as far as whenever I've wanted to introduce people and I've recommended that they read that. They have a much better rate and of actually getting fundamentals under wraps.
Mm.
A lot of fundamentals is just reading and learning concepts that have been around for a few hundred years.
That is easy to understand, easy to learn, or easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's your the take from Westpac, just to jump a bit more, says that pound should be between 130 and 133, which is the current range. Is that something that generally the market is expecting, or is that just Westpac? Sorry, yeah.
No,
Is that a
from what
Westpac?
I've read, from what I've read, that actually is very much the case.
Mm.
However, I will say this: 80% of your lows for the month of April come in above the S1 pivot point for pound to dollar over the last 20 years. So
A monthly S1.
yeah, and the lowest reading we've ever had in April on pound dollar in the last 20 years was below S2 and above M0, and that only happened one time. So I'm not expecting pound dollar to puke, and I'm not expecting it to go a whole lot lower from here,
Yeah.
But I'm also not expecting it to go a whole lot higher. So the identification of the range between 130 and 133, I think, is absolutely appropriate, because if you look at the price of the S1 monthly pivot, it's at 129, 1.2950, and the likelihood, the probability historically that we have had our high for the month come in above the central pivot, which is at 131.9. How many pips is that? It's like 90 pips away from here. Historically, 90% of the time we have gone above the monthly central pivot, which we have still yet to do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an 80% probability that the low is above S1, and there's a 95% historical probability that the high's not in yet. So I'd say that the low's probably not in. It could be, but the high for the month is almost certainly not in.
No.
By any historical measure, it's not in yet. So there, I don't trade pound or pound dollar. I just don't get the leverage out of Oanda that I'd like to trade it.
Yeah, personal decision.
But yeah, I'd be risk on pound dollar. Yeah.
Where to get the report? I just posted in Discord at everyone. And Rudolph asked about a pound, and that's what we're doing. So My brain is a bit all over the place today, apparently. But how do you get this report from Wells Fargo? Do you need to be a client there, or is that publicly available?
Oh,
for
no,
everyone?
no, not at all. You just search Wells Fargo weekly economic report. It'll take you directly to, like, the first result or second result should be the page. Yeah, Wells Fargo weekly economic report. And
Where?
from that page, there should be a little sign up text box. Yeah.
Just trying
That
to do
first
it.
one.
You can just do that when everyone can see that. Subscribe today.
Yeah.
Economic
And it's
commentary.
all free. It's all public. And they do a phenomenal job of explaining concepts to beginners.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free,
Mm-hmm.
and they publish a lot, which is why I recommend Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you've read a lot of Nordea stuff like I have, and Nordea is like pretty advanced. But like, if you wanted to get, for example, if you wanted something for Europe that was, you know, there's nothing that I've found for Europe that's as easy to read as the Wells Fargo report. If you're brand new, do the Wells Fargo report. Wells Fargo will cover Europe and the entire world. But when it comes down to progressing, I think the next best one that's a little more technical, difficult to read, but who does better analysis for Europe is Danske Bank. And then, of course, for Asia and Australia and New Zealand, you go with Westpac. So those are like the trifecta for beginners that I always recommend. Now, do you have to read everything
No.
that comes out of those institutions? By no means, no. But the more you do read, the more likely you are to improve. I mean, it's all about just knowing what you're trading. That's all fundamentals is, and that's all trading is to an extent.
Yeah.
Even when you know what you're trading, sometimes you don't want to be trading.
So what are you trading? What are you looking at? What is at your forefront of your trading today? What are you trading? What's your
Well, I remember. I think I said last time I was trying to short like New Zealand Japanese yen. Well, since then, about Thursday of last week, I changed my position because I was looking at that seasonality dashboard and I'm like, oh my god, there's going to be some strong seasonality coming in here for New Zealand, and I want it. And then as soon as I flipped my position, I was reading some of the daily FX Westpac commentary, and Westpac said, hey, there might be some more strength coming in for Aussie and New Zealand here. And I'm like, wow, I just flipped ahead of the bank.
or at the same time.
That's when you know you're starting to see. That's also a really good benchmark when you do start reading these reports, when you start making trade plans and start executing trades with confidence, and then a report comes out from a bank like a day or two later or the same day, and they're doing the exact same thing, you're like, oh wow, I actually am learning. I know what I'm doing now. Oh wow, it's another form of confirmation other than just being in a trading community.
Yep. All right, Joe. Thank you for jumping by.
Absolutely.
I think we'll jump by more, actually, to be honest. But at least today.
But before I go, what I'm trading right now is I'm long New Zealand and Aussie on the dollar.
On the dollar.
And I've been long since last Thursday.
Okay. So you're stuck in a range, and you're stuck in a range.
No, not on my charts.
Okay.
I got my statistics and I got my plans, and I'm already up 50 pips on one of these trades.
Yeah, I
So
can see that.
I'm chilling, man. I'm kind of getting used to these new things. These indicators are starting to intimidate me. I need to get used to them. Alrighty, I'll let you go now.
Have a great day.
You too, my man.
So, people, that was Joe. So the thing here is, there's supposed to be a weekly forecast right now, right? So I would like to say that I do believe in. Let's go through what I believe is going to happen in April. Okay. So we go to that one. Cool. So where are we now? We are there. Then we take away that, I think. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then take away that watermark thing. Cool. So if we make a matrix here, matrix always nice. Weekly outlook, and then we're gonna go with bullish, bearish, I guess. Bearish, bullish. Bullish, and then we go to 40, and then we go to bearish. This is currencies, right? So in my belief, I believe yen is going to be bearish for April. I believe that more than anything else, dollar will be strong for some reason. Australia, New Zealand, CAD will be strong in April. Euro, on the other hand, until we get inflation, might be bearish. Might be, but that's kind of what I believe ahead of the curve kind of thing. And then if you have strong dollar, we don't have anything else coming out of that thing called Ukraine. I still think we're gonna go down on gold. Now the question becomes, ladies and gentlemen, where do we put oil? Myself and I have gone through around a couple of rounds with myself for oil, and I would honestly say that we might have peaked, but April should have a very strong, at least first half. So I'm gonna put oil, put oil there, oil as bullish first half, and then oil should be bearish second half. Oil second half. Is that a fair enough, good enough matrix you all understand? You can all see that. Good. We all understand that matrix there-ish. So. Joe is a guy. He is the inventor of your indicators called Wayne's Pivots, and he looks like this is Joe. That's how it looks like. So next time, Joe, you need to bring your camera because I didn't see your face apparently. So they were asking, what are you? So, concerned that China's ongoing lockdown strategy will create economic drag in Australia in short term. That is definitely a thing, personal freedom. So that's on one side, and on the other side we have, we still have higher or highlighted commodities. We are going into a very strong commodity season. We are going into a month where it's generally going to be a risk on. What do you think about USD yen, USD CAD, and Aussie dollar? I think USD yen has more legs to upside, to be honest. USD CAD, do not have too much of an opinion there. It's probably going to be a range bound for the rest of the year. Where are they heading, and what's the key resistance and key supports? So if you take USDN, so everyone take a screenshot here. and then we can put that into Discord somewhere, so we all can see that everything is great. Now, okay, cool. Now we go into Mr. USD yen. Key resistance is 123. Key support is 122. 123 and 122. Cool, cool. And then I think it's going to go higher. Aussie dollar has key resistance at 75.40 and key support at 74.70. You think that it should go higher? Hello, RT. How are you? All right. Hello, Ryan. That's what I was supposed to say. And then dollar CAD, I am kind of, range. There's still an ongoing I don't care trade here that it's a range. It doesn't really perform. It's not how I want to do things, and that's being that. So I think that's kind of that. I need to run to A1 trading in 15 minutes. That's going to be another hour of nonsense with Eivind, and I haven't planned something new, so I have 15 minutes to plan something new that you didn't know from before already. And then we're going to go through that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Love you, man. Have a great day, people. I love you. I see you. Discord link anytime soon. And we will be on for more.